What's up, people? We live. And this show today, I got my brother Bud Brownsville.
Black Power.
Straight out of Brownsville, Brooklyn, where we met. And this is they say, in God we trust, in Amboy Street we trust.
Word to the mother.
You know, and this is where we learned that if you're losing a fight, you bite a motherfucker in his face. Mike Tyson. What's up, brother? My man Bud.
Peace,
I'm glad he here because you know we've been brothers for a long time, going all the way back, you know, since the '80s and things like that.
Man.
And
79, 80.
And we had a very interesting conversation about the whole political realm of. We went from colored. We went to black. I think we went to African and you could. That's like a subgroup of the word nigger for America.
Facts.
But what's going on, my brother?
I don't know. You tell me, man. I'm just riding the wave, brother.
Right. You know what? Right before we went live, people, we had just mentioned that they're about to really gentrify the shit out of Brownsville.
They're already doing it.
They're already doing it. Doing to the, you know, it's so sad that there was a life loss, but I don't know the ramifications of what happened, what kind of gang thing happened. But I think that the shooting like that with the crowd in there like that, you know, it's kind of effed up.
All right, but brother, there's a lot of shootings that's going on in Brownsville.
Yeah.
I don't know the statistics and the news of what happened lately, but there's a lot of gunplay, a lot of problems in Brownsville. So this is just another to add on to that, which is sad. But we got to do something, and it ain't about praying.
That's right.
It ain't about praying.
Right.
We don't pray enough.
Because that we don't pray enough. Because I think one of the pastors or someone said that, you know, we're gonna have prayer. It's like, man, we've been praying.
We must have a prayer and a march at the same time.
Prayer
they
and
both ain't working.
It's not working.
Stop it. Come on.
I don't know what's going to work, and I think that the self can make it work. But let's talk some politics, man.
Talk to me.
I had mentioned when I just seen you, when I first seen you when you walked up, the fight of the century, and we are not talking about Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali. We are not talking about Evander Holyfield and fucking Mike Tyson. We are not talking about the Boston Celtics versus the Los Angeles Lakers of the 80s with Magic and Bird. We're talking about Al Sharpton versus Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, 3 rounds.
Why you pick Trump in 3?
I picked Trump in 3 because Trump ain't playing.
Right.
Trump ain't playing. He got nothing to lose. And Al Sharpton, since he lost all that weight, he lost all his strength.
Yes.
And his pizzazz, in my opinion. And let me just backtrack. I'm not one to actually dump on our brothers.
Right.
We just having a casual conversation.
Right.
So I don't want this to turn into, oh, yo, the brother is pro-black, but yet he's digging on one of our. We talking about a situation where Donald Trump versus Sharpton.
Right.
Politically, you know, Trump gonna get it. Trump gonna get it because Trump got a lot of shit on everybody, or a lot of people,
right?
Because Trump got that money, and matter of fact, when he was getting elected, Kanye went up there.
Right.
What's my man?
Floyd Mayweather.
Everybody.
Steve
went
Harvey.
to see him.
Right.
Everybody went this. Why?
Right.
It's about that money.
Right.
It's about that money. But yeah,
the thing came up about he you know they saying that, you know, Donald Trump he's racist and he's being very racial about what he's doing. I think that Donald Trump is being American. I think that, you know, he's just straight up forward with his shit. And I guess maybe as president you gotta seclude it a little bit or tone it down in this day and era, being that America is the great Roman liberator, and we're going to implant democracies all around the planet and have the fairness in the vote.
Why you gotta tone it down? Why you gotta tone it down?
He feels like he don't have to.
Listen, when I'm shouting Black Power, I'm talking about progressing my people.
Right.
When he's talking about shitholes in Maryland, and
infestations. Shitholes, infestations, rodent infestation. He said no human being wants to live there.
He's feeding his base.
Yes, he is.
And he's spitting some facts.
And he's spitting some facts.
Some facts, not all facts, some facts. But I mean, if you look at the areas that we live in, like let's just take the projects alone.
Right.
Trash everywhere. Where that trash come from? The whites ain't coming in the neighborhood and drop the trash. We did that.
That's right.
We don't take care of the places that we live. We need to do better.
Right.
We do. So, you know, and it's a lack of resources. It's that mentality of, you know, somebody else is gonna take care of it. We gotta come up off of that.
Right. That's the truth.
I mean, what did he say that was not true?
That's right.
He said something that was uncomfortable, but what did he say was not true?
That's not true, because I think Donald Trump, he watched The Wire too. He watched The Wire and he seen what the fuck was going on. I mean, he knows what's going on. He was the promoter of a fighter from out of fucking Brownsville, Brooklyn, so he's hip. Because just 5, 6, 7 years ago, all the rappers again, I said this a couple of podcasts ago, I think even Sake said it, everybody was fucking with Donald. So Donald done heard the stories on what's going on in the hood and, you know what I'm saying, all that other shit. So it's like, you're right, he probably was bold, but it's like, it's factual. Baltimore is fucked up. Everybody that I know that swings down that way through Maryland to Baltimore, and I asked them, yo, does Baltimore, is it like The Wire? There's like something even worse. I mean, I know The Wire, it was based down there and the story is about down there, but I'm saying, is it still like that? Motherfuckers say, yes, it's still like that. And it's also to say, the guy that did the march with Martin Luther King, I can't think of his name straight up, but he's the head of the oversight of caucus in DC.
I think the Ways and Means Committee,
something like that. You ain't one of those caucuses and shit, and it's like, your districts has allocated a lot of money. What the fuck is going on? That your shit is still it's fucked up, and that's the facts that he threw back at him. Why the fuck is you worried about the border when your town is fucked up? And that goes for any one of you Democrats that's out there. Y'all really concerned about that fucking border? AOC, that chick, I don't really know the socialist chick how the way your community is.
Right.
But I know communities like Brownsville, like Yvette Clarke. You're the congresswoman for Brownsville, and it's like you're gentrifying that shit. Where my whole argument of the thing is with the gentrification thing going on, for all of us that are left over from AIDS, crack cocaine, gangs, people burning down their fucking buildings to get into the projects in the 1970s and shit like that. What about the motherfuckers that's left? You know how they said that, well, a roach will never die. You could spray that motherfucker. Right. What about us roaches, us cockroaches that's still fucking alive?
I said cockroaches.
Cockroaches that's still alive. That how come we're not getting the great benefit of what's, you know, going on? Because I walked over there, again, I said this last week, I walked over there to Mother Gaston last week, we ain't got a fish sandwich, and seen the cops parked up on Mother Gaston, they fucking up their flow, but I'm looking at the building that they just fucking redone over on Picking in Mother Gaston. I'm like, that used to be the manufacturer handover bank when we was kids. Picking in Mother Gaston. It's that bank that's there. They did that shit over. It looks immaculately beautiful.
That's supposed to be a Whole Foods or something like that. Right?
No, they're not making a Whole Food. It's gonna be a health something, and from what I understand, it might be like a shooting gallery because the doctors is gonna come push the heroin in their arms over there.
A shooting gallery.
For clean needles. Shit. Wow. That's going on over there. So that's what it might be, because when I went to Latrice Walker meeting, they had threw that up that they was gonna use that for a shooting gallery. I'll tell you.
Question for you, brother.
Go ahead, brother.
What is your political background? Are you Democrat? Are you
well, you know, at one time I had registered as a Republican, and I said that, you know what, I'm only going on, quote unquote, I'm a Lincolnist, as they say. I know that before Lincoln changed his thought pattern, they said that Lincoln had the biggest mass fucking lynching to happen in the state of Indiana or wherever he was from. He like kind of co-signed this lynching. I only went with Republican because they are, quote unquote, the emancipators of the Negro out of slavery. Some crazy fucking shift in the planet, the Democrats became Dixiecrats when Jefferson Davis and Robert E. Lee were Democrats. That shit shifted. That the blacks became you know what I'm saying? It's like a shift. I was thinking, because I jumped back to the Democratic Party, didn't vote for Trump.
Okay.
Wasn't gonna vote for that bitch that said that the Negroes are predators when they was fucking signing that crime bill. Joe Biden, you's a motherfucker too, because you voted for that death penalty shit during them days in the 1990s when Bill Clinton wanted to keep shit really tough. When blacks and fucking Latinos was getting really hit really fucking hard under the crime bill.
Giuliani administration.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You had a federal crime bill and then you had this motherfucker. And to which Giuliani was the United States District Attorney. His attorney got up that was up in there. But I'm thinking about creating my own party. I guess you get your petition on, get 1,000 signatures, 2,000 signatures, the hip hop party.
Hip hop party.
That's where I was going to try to go. Make it independent. Right. Have the hip hop party and steal it away from them Democrats and them fucking those Republicans. Which Brownsville is not a Republican side of thing, but you do have Republicans there. And people will have that stigma. Oh, you fucking with Trump and you fucking with this. I ain't fucking with nobody. It's just that the Democrats is too crowded down up in there with that bullshit that. No disrespect to you elected officials that's there. Y'all know that the voter turnout in Brownsville fucking suck. It fucking suck. And y'all know that it fucking suck. Somebody got elected. I ain't gonna mention their fucking name. Excuse my French. 147 fucking votes got you in as the city council. You know who you are that sits as the city council. No disrespect to you, Alicia Samuels. No disrespect to you. You won the election on 147 fucking votes, and it's over 100,000 or maybe 50 or 60,000 people that can vote in Brownsville. I don't know if it was just 147 in Brownsville. Like, yo, what the fuck is that?
Wow.
That sucks.
Wow.
So who is your core audience, and who the fuck are you going to take care of? The people in the projects? No disrespect. Like, who the fuck are you taking care of? Because it ain't no community centers on my fucking side. The Jews done took Amboy. No disrespect to the Jews. Y'all got y'all money up. Y'all kept the tenement buildings. While we was in there selling crack, while we was in there fucking shooting guns, the Hasidim Jew always came on Amboy Street. Grant got his fucking money, and the Hasidim Jews came and got their money. I'm not disrespecting them. The Hasidim Jews, they gave up the private houses, but the tenement buildings they kept. So they got paid off the social ill of the Negro. Whether those tenement buildings it was for people with HIV, or it was for, you know what I'm saying? You always got paid for the social ills in the hood. So it's like, and you're not wrong, because if I owned a tenement building, I'm gonna try to get me some money too and get me some government funding, because it's guaranteed money. I'm getting the money from the motherfucker that prints the notes. So you know. So my political party, I'm trying to make it into the hip hop. Let's go back down memory lane right quick. And what was one of your give me an Amboy story, because I got one. That's crazy.
An Amboy story.
An Amboy Street story.
You want a good one or you want a bad one?
Give me a good one and give me a bad one.
Amboy Street story.
It's a lot.
Wow, where do I start? Bad. Dude got shot on the block. I mean, how many other people got shot on the block? Wow, Amboy story. You chumped me there.
Right.
Give me yours and I'll come back.
All right, what's that? I'm gonna give you the bad. I'm gonna go with the bad. I remember my sister, this is 79, 80, and it's a block party. And my older sister, I'm 46, so one of my older sisters should be 52, 53. And they were shooting, and her friend Kelly, I never forget the name, her friend Kelly, Jennifer looks up, but my sister's the chick with the gold fronts. She looks up, and she pulls my sister down. And she looks up, and a slug from a 38 hits her straight in her eye.
Stop.
And my sister in the 7th grade, and looking at her friend bleed to death with a bullet in her eye in a pissy Amboy hallway. This is 79-80. Wow. And I think that kind of fucked my sister up a little mentally a bit.
And she never
it made her strong. She never really talks about it.
But the girl never made it.
No, died. She died.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Damn. A good Amboy story, I think, when it was so community based, and Danny and Grant and Mac and Marshall, because you always hear motherfuckers stealing money. You always heard that. But it was some positivity shit that actually went on that fucking block, because Grant had a big budget. He hired every fucking body that he possibly could, but some of that money that was, as they said, the allocated funds, going to the gambling games, to the football games, motherfuckers was going to Lincoln Center before you even knew about surround fucking sound. I remember Danny took us to Lincoln Center to see a play, and I'm hearing ping pong gong gong gong. It's like, oh, that's just the speaker. I'm like, what is that? It's this thing called surround sound. I first heard surround sound at Lincoln Center, and I thank Amboy for taking motherfuckers to Lincoln Center. And it did with some positivity shit to it. So it's like, you got a big state. What part of the meat you taking off the bone?
True.
So
true. And you're right. They took us a lot of places, and I think that's one of my good stories, because there was one time Congressman or Councilwoman Wooten had leadership committees, and she would take the kids from the inner cities out to. We went to Fallsview. I went two years back to back out to Fallsview to teach us, ethics, and just get us out and have workshops.
Right.
Life changing. I mean, I was pretty well off. I didn't live on Amboy. My father worked on Amboy. I came and I enjoyed the resources.
That's right.
Every trip that they went on, I was able to go. If they had a spot for me, I went.
That's right.
From the Grambling games with Danny.
That's right.
To I didn't go to the Lincoln Center and stuff like that.
Right.
But I went camper trips. I did it. I did a lot of other stuff. But you know what? That is a big void that is left in Brownsville since they closed down.
Right.
There was so many services that was provided through Amboy that is no longer there.
And right now, the Gamba right now was the ass rapers of the hood, because Gamba. They the ones that get the nonprofit money that's going on in there. And I'm not knocking your hustle.
Do you know the numbers?
What's the numbers?
I can't quote the exact numbers, but I was floored by when I heard the
numbers. Millions of dollars that's allocated. And Gamba got a lot of shelters around everywhere. You know what? That word shelter. I'm gonna jump back into a Brownsville state of mind. Why has Brownsville remained so fucking angry? And I came up and I said, you got poor layered with poor, meaning Brownsville is the place where all the fucking shelters is at. Mm-hmm. Now you build these motherfucking hotels that you got there. Who the fuck? I mean, of course you're gonna take your jump off and go fuck, but I could go get me some fucking city shelter money. You mask this shit with fucking hotels and their fucking shelters.
Okay, but also, if there's a shooting in a white neighborhood or a white school, grief counselors are deployed immediately.
Yes, immediately.
Shit happens in Brownsville in our neighborhoods every day.
It's the norm.
We don't get a grief counselor.
That's right.
So you want to know why we so angry?
Yeah,
we don't have a way to disperse our anger and our feelings or talk about it.
Yeah.
That's a piece of the puzzle.
That's right. That's the truth.
Yeah. So we're angry because we don't know. Listen, I'm mad that brother got shot for no reason.
Right.
I'm mad somebody died for no reason.
Right.
But how do you let off that steam? How do you express yourself?
That's right.
Because men ain't supposed to cry.
Right.
And men ain't supposed to, speak up or
Right. And now I'm gonna tell you, that's what makes a motherfucker rageful, if he can't let out some of that hurt. And Brownsville got a lot of fucking hurt. It's a lot of hurt. It's a lot of hurt. So what you been up to, bud?
I've been trying to make my dent in society.
Right.
trying to give brothers a path out of this matrix.
Right.
I I do private shit.
Right.
And there's a lot of potential
for private shit.
Right. You don't have to be so public. There's a lot of stuff going on in the private.
Right.
And I flourish down there, and I'm trying to open the brothers' eyes to what we can do and how we can navigate this stuff. Now, some of the solutions as to what Brownsville can do. I mean, why are we so infested? I'm gonna use Trump's word, infested with police, but there's still so much crime.
Ooh.
There's so many cops in this area, but it's still crime. Why is that?
Yeah.
So I got solutions, and if like we're Dred Scott.
Right.
You said it.
That's
We're Dred Scott blacks.
Right.
We're not U.S. citizens.
Right.
We can never be U.S. citizens according to their Constitution.
To the people, that's meaning due process of the law.
So we're not. And a lot of people think they are. Just like you're not American or African American, you're not black, you're not colored.
Right.
You're American. If you were born in this soil,
you're
born in New York,
right.
born on that, in this area, you're American.
Right.
And we don't know who we are, and we letting them give us these titles. And actually, I don't want to go too deep into it, but we're stateless, or not we, because I'm not. There are people that are stateless citizens that don't realize that they're stateless. And when you are stateless, you are stripped from your rights.
Right.
So there's a reason why, like taking for instance, can anybody tell you what to do with your property?
No.
Can I walk up to you and say, I want to use this, I want to use that, I want to use your property. I want to, can I tell you what to do with your property?
That's right.
There are people that are property of another person.
Right.
And they can do what they want to. So a lot of this crime, or like when the police are manhandling us.
Right.
They're manhandling property.
Right, right.
Because they belong to somebody.
Right.
If you don't know who you are, if you don't know how to separate yourself from this matrix, then you're going to get caught up in that mix.
Right.
And there's ways out. There's
right.
privacy. And this is what I teach. This is what I go into.
Right. Wow, that's deep. That's some deep shit. You know, we was also talking about the money system.
Yes.
And how the United States is so deep in debt.
They're
as
bankrupt.
They say, it's a bankrupt system,
$1 trillion
and
deficit. That is bullshit.
$20 trillion and 40 and 50 and 60 trillion dollars, and let's just print up some more goddamn money,
right.
And the power that United States dollar, the weight that the dollar still holds over all the other currencies, and regardless of how the way it may look in the stock market, it's just the weight of the United States dollar that just...
It's the perception of the weight that dollar carries.
Right.
That dollar don't carry no weight.
Right.
Matter of fact, let's take a trip. Because you're young enough and old enough to realize this. Back in the days when your parents took you into a bank.
Right.
There was this big old vault back there.
That's right.
Big old nice big vault.
That's right. I remember seeing that. That's right.
Now, those banks had to have equivalency of minerals, or like metals, or
right.
precious metals,
like gold,
like
I guess,
gold
right.
or silver, in comparison to the money, the
That's
deposits.
Right. That's right.
So if they had $1 million in cash, they had to have the equivalent in
gold
precious metal in that bank,
right?
Not just in the entire bank, in that bank,
in that bank,
because the amount of deposits from this bank have to match what they had in there.
I didn't know that.
Fast forward to the future,
right?
You could see all these ATMs everywhere. You go into a bank now, and it's a storefront.
Right.
There ain't no vault in there.
Wow.
No, why? Because the money's not backed by anything anymore.
That's right.
And the Federal Reserve tells you that. We haven't had gold in our possession for years.
Right.
So there's nothing back in the dollar.
Right.
That's why they can keep printing it.
Do you think that is because I remember they had said that Nixon had...
Not Nixon.
It became black gold, meaning oil.
Okay.
That I guess the money, the perception of money is backed by oil. Like they had mentioned that how what really set United States off, and Rumsfeld and Bush and them was like, yo, we going to go fuck shit up in Libya and fuck shit up in Iraq. That Iraq and them was going to start to price their oil with their fucking money. And it's
Right.
like, no, the fuck you not.
Right.
If that shit is $73 a barrel, that shit is $73 a barrel.
Right.
You ain't it ain't gonna be no other currency on this planet that's gonna fucking,
Because
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you said, the perception on how to weigh money, how to weigh the money, you know.
Because God says so. And what is God? Guns, oil,
Right.
and drugs.
Yeah.
Guns,
Oil and drugs. Right.
God.
What do you think? I mean, we need oil.
We don't need oil. We
You don't think we need oil?
For incense and for
Okay.
what we need
Okay.
oil for?
Right.
Cooking?
Right.
You got to fry that chicken?
Right.
see oil
We
for?
do love chicken, but you can squeeze that out of corn. But you don't think that like, how are we gonna I mean, I know that we have the electric car
Okay.
and things like that, but to say that the United States, I ain't gonna speak for the world.
Okay.
The United States need that gas and that oil. You don't think so?
The United States may need it. I don't need it.
Okay. Industrialism needs the oil. Or I guess you could put the sun panels on top of the roof to get the energy from there.
Well, if you break down what the oils are used for,
Right.
then you can say, okay, there is a definite need for it because there's oil that goes into a lot of products.
Right.
Okay. In that equation, okay. And the thing is, America wants to control
Right.
that supply.
Right.
So we don't really need it. We just want to
Control
control it
it,
and make
right.
sure we disperse it to who we want it to
That's
go to.
right. That's right.
I'm
that's
not
right.
speaking for America though, but
Right.
So we don't need that.
You know,
We need weed.
Right. I
We
noticed.
need weed.
I noticed that I was telling the brothers. I've been noticing that a lot of bud don't have fucking seeds, and we bitched, and we complained. Yo, Sean, you selling me this bag of smoke, Sean, and it's filled with a lot of seeds, Sean. Today, it ain't no seeds in that bag.
All right, disclaimer. I'm not a weed smoker. But I do remember
Right.
my mother used to roll and like
And have
in the
her
ashtray.
album cover,
Right.
getting the seeds out the
Getting
weed.
seeds. I remember the seeds in the ashtray.
That's
But
right.
Just like your fruits, everything is genetically modified.
Seedless watermelon. I used to spit the seeds out the fucking watermelon.
I will not buy anything that doesn't have any seeds in it.
Right.
I refuse. I
Okay.
refuse. It has to have a seed in it. So
Okay.
I don't buy no seedless watermelons, seedless grapes, all that. No, it's got to have seeds in it.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're right, the weed. But guess who's making it? That's why. You want to know why it's legal now?
I know.
And because the government want to make money. They mass producing it. They gonna make that money.
That's right. That's right.
They're not stupid.
That's right.
They're not stupid.
And it's like it's crazy how the federal government still has marijuana up there with cocaine, but the states
They hold a patent on it.
The states is saying that this is what we're gonna do, and this is how we're gonna mass produce this shit. That they saying over there in fucking Oregon, like they have so much marijuana grown that it's so it's.
Supply and demand.
It's the supply and demand, but it's like I'm a smoker and sometimes I smoke, and to me it don't taste as good as it's grown in the sun. Like the Jamaicans and the fucking Mexicans got cut the fuck out of the marijuana business. Right. Y'all might could push some cocaine and some dope. And maybe some pills,
right.
But as far as marijuana, it's self-contained in the United States that you have enough states growing enough marijuana that it can be sold. That
right.
All that I'm pushing on weed into this country, nah, y'all wasting y'all fucking time.
Wasting your time.
You're wasting your time. Because I had asked one of my friends about some weed stock, and you know what he said? He was like, yo, you need to try to jump into the distribution,
right?
Meaning the packaging,
right?
Your ink pens and it's something else. Not to jump off that, I want to jump back to Trump.
Go.
Do you think that he's going to win
re-election?
Yeah.
I have more confidence in the first race in his first election. I was telling everybody at my job that he was going to win, and everybody thought I was crazy.
Right.
But I seen it. You know, I was paying attention to the numbers, paying attention to how things were going, and he was moving them numbers.
Right.
Just like when Barack was going and running the tables.
Right.
You just knew Barack was going to win. The momentum was on his side.
Right.
The same with Trump. The momentum was on his side.
Right.
Now, I'm not sure, but it's still early.
Right.
It's still early. It's early, but it's his to lose. To
Right.
be honest,
Right.
It's his to lose. And if he keep running his mouth, he might screw himself out of office.
Like you said, they're chosen. They're not elected.
Right.
And I think that he would still have enough electoral college votes
Right.
to get him in. And I want to clear something up. It's like, yo, I'm not a racist person because there's good in every...
You can't be racist. You can be prejudiced.
Yeah, prejudice. Because racist means that you love your race.
No.
Like a capitalist loves money.
No, racist is you're able to control a people, and like they make laws,
right?
And they can control what we do and what we can't do. They have control,
right?
They can be a racist,
right?
We can't be racist because we don't control anything.
Right.
We can be prejudiced,
right?
And it's documented. They did books on that. But we can't be racist.
Okay.
So Donald Trump can be racist because he can control
shit. Right.
We can't control it.
I think that Donald Trump, when he made that comment about, the gentleman, the congressman, and whatever his name is, that I think that he should have been like, you know what, this is what I'm going to do for your community. I'm gonna outdo what you've been sitting in this seat for 25 fucking years, and you haven't done shit.
Wow.
That means that you a congressman, so that means that you've been reelected 12 motherfucking times. If you've been there 25 years or 35 years, because it's only 2-year terms for the congressman.
Right.
You ain't do shit. I mean, I don't know how much shit you can do, but you're not doing anything like.
Well, as we were talking about earlier today, when bills are passed by each, like when you vote on a bill,
right,
you get to have a say. If you want my vote, you want some stuff in that bill to benefit my constituents.
Right.
So a lot of people was actually asleep at the table, or they just wasn't paying attention. So
right.
A lot of these districts are not getting what they're getting because people are not doing their job,
right.
Or they're absent. A lot of these votes are being passed, and people are not present.
Right. When the voting is actually going on.
When it matters.
If we got a yay and we got a nay. All right. Right. Let me jump, because this show is also a hip hop show. When the last time, how do you feel about the hip hop rap thing now, like compared to the 90s, the 80s and the 90s? What do you think about the rap music now?
Hip hop or rap music?
Ooh.
Well, I'll be honest, it's a different generation,
right?
And like when we had our sound, it was our sound,
right?
And the older people didn't really.
That's right, and that's the truth.
The cycle is coming back around.
That's right.
You got these mumble rappers, and you got these individuals saying what they're saying, doing what they're doing.
Right.
Can't knock their hustle because they're moving numbers.
Right.
That's what they do, and that's the kids like that. You know,
right.
It's not for me to like.
Right.
It's either I buy into it or I don't buy into
right.
it. I'm not buying into it.
And you know what's crazy? I was criticized for, well, you're not staying up with the new, and I always kept saying that's like you. I mean, I was heavily into NWA.
Okay.
My fucking mother went crazy. And my grandmother would have to call my mother like, this motherfucker is up in here playing this, you know. And it's like, I sometimes scream at my kids like, yo, I don't want to hear that. Right. You better put Biggie Smalls on. They like, Dad, but he cursed too. You better put Biggie Smalls on in this house. You better put some Pac. You better put the Wu-Tang Clan on. I don't know who these people are. Some of the music, it does sound good, but it's just your message.
Well, you gotta let them live.
Right.
You gotta let them live. Yeah, you gotta let them live. Just because we don't agree with it, or we don't think it's maybe positive, or it's not giving the message that we think it should have, they should give off, doesn't mean we should just not let them listen to it. Because then again, our parents didn't want us to listen to NWA.
Right.
They want us to listen to 2 Live Crew and stuff
right.
like that.
That's right.
Now we listen to it anyway,
right.
And they're gonna listen to it anyway too. So listen. Come on.
Yo,
let them live.
We're going to take a break, and we're going to come right on back to the 2 Live Crew. And I wish we could play Me So Horny, you know.
Through my peripheral and see you scheming. Through my peripheral, I'm watching. My peripheral will see you. I see you hating ass niggas scheming. We doing it, baby. Let's go. Through my peripheral, I'm watching them plotting. Your boys nice with the gun work, keeping them popping. I'm big worm, fed out the apple, dirty and rotten. All my life I've been a bad boy. Watch where I stop it. Me and my comrades ready for combat. If you don't want a problem, boy, you better calm that. Respect the line, fucker. Get caught at the crossroads. We can't lose, nigga. I'll bite off a earlobe. Welcome to my humble abode, the land of lost. Where niggas swallow pride, you survive by any cost. Where cops is killing niggas with excessive and deadly force. In the wrong neck of the woods, for showing them jewels off. You don't know none of these dudes, so stop talking that talk. Put yourself in my shoes and I swear you couldn't walk. See, these niggas got the balls, but they ain't got the smarts. Like a nigga with a gun, but he ain't got the heart. To my niggas on the run that been here from the start, like Cillian color purple, the line will never part. My peripheral will see you scheming. Only thing real niggas respect is long dough, so connects come slow. If you copping just one O, everybody wanna blow, but niggas don't wanna pop. So I'm sending faggots to hell and the devil red drop, trying to cop more than before and tour 50 states with one pair of clothes and a digital plate. These niggas talking like they cake really baking the oven, and when you put them on the spot they look at you like you bugging. I'm like fuck them, they hate a nigga loving his life. Know if given the opportunity they plugging my wife. Niggas the shites when you let them be, especially the bum type. Twist L's with you one day, plotting the next night. It's alright, cause I can make a call on the celly and have niggas in your crib like meth did in Belly. My peripheral will see you scheming. I see him, yo. It's like when they spot you, they got you. Your vision be so blurry, but I stay Hakuna Matata, meaning with no worries. Through a thunderstorm, heat wave, or snow flurry, we overcome pain and defeat with no hurry. Can't sit pretty with no gain of victory, so we hang like old titties and bang if necessary. It's a frontline thing, you lames ain't got that through yet. Slash spitting slugs, slash we ain't got the cool shit. We still the illest faculty without this music. And still the nuts as youths, we gotta do this. Cause when bars and murder get on it, it's like a collage of burners. We flow harder than all of you burgers, regardless of this hardship that we harbor. We all earners, and it's death before dishonor. So partner, if you're not learning, you're sitting with time's turning. And I see it.
People, we back up here. You just heard from my peoples from S.TREET, from Brownsville. Yo Q, my man TJ, and my man fucking Peanut, you know. But before we went to break, we was talking about rap music and how the rap music now is just so different than what it is. I don't know the message. I don't know the message of what's now. And it's like you got some socially conscious people out there. I just don't know who you are. Maybe if I was to leave my shit on Pandora, because I'm gonna tell you, the other night I had my fucking Pandora on Sadiq. Or I had made a Erykah Badu, and it was some good ass R&B, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like, it's good shit. So I know that there's a socially conscious person out there, but we was talking about Luke, and I had mentioned the 2 Live Crew, and I had said that Me So Horny, but to make it even bigger, I think that. And they played a big part in freedom of speech. And we was talking about that outside. Like, I think that freedom of speech, United States, the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, it's like it's being violated along with the surveillance of your freedom of speech and your right to press and your right to assembly. Like, that shit is just,
Well, here's the interesting part of that. We don't have, well, I'm saying we, and I'm lumping it in just for the sake of the conversation. We don't have constitutional rights.
Right.
We have constitutional protections.
Okay.
Meaning the Constitution is to limit government.
Right.
It's not to allow us to do certain things.
Right.
It's to keep them off of us.
Right.
Now, if you are a U.S. citizen, the Constitution doesn't apply to you.
Wow.
The Constitution is suspended for United States citizens because you are a citizen or you are a member of a club. The United States is a corporation.
Right.
So you are a corporate citizen, aka you are a member of that club.
Right.
And the Constitution doesn't apply to you. So there's like, if you go into a traffic court, if you go into criminal court and you bring up the Constitution, they'll tell you in a minute that doesn't apply here because it doesn't. These are not real courts. These are not real courts.
Right. So who does the Constitution? I'm just saying, like, who would the Constitution?
The Constitution applies to public individuals. Or it protects the citizens,
right.
the state citizens.
Right.
If you are part of like we spoke about nationality earlier, briefly. Are you a U.S. citizen?
I thought I was.
Well, you by virtue of the 14th Amendment, you were given United States citizenship.
That's right.
By virtue of the 14th Amendment.
That's right, because that's the one that came after the 13th with the emancipation of what's name, and the due process was written in that. In
the Bill of Rights. Is it Bill of Rights or is it Articles of Confederation? One of
those shits, but you know what? Because they always go to the 5th and the 14th. Something always, to that, but go ahead.
To keep you locked in that box.
Right,
but when you are a state citizen, now the state, because there's a state constitution and there's a federal constitution.
That's right.
The state constitution is your rights. That's what you work off of.
Right.
And you can tell the government, leave you alone. Just like, I'd love to bring up do not detain here. Do not detain, injunction, meaning you write your elected officials and you let them know that you're going to be exercising your right to travel, not drive. You're going to exercise your right to bear arm. Now, if you get caught with a gun in New York City, you're going to do time.
3.5 years.
But if you get caught with a firearm, you won't do time.
What's the difference between... Wait, Marshall, run that back again.
Okay.
Rewind.
All right. What they do in let's say in New York City, they hit you with gun charges.
Right.
The manufacturer of that instrument didn't call it a gun.
You called it a firearm.
So they hitting you with gun charges because they got gun laws.
Right.
They don't have firearm laws.
Okay.
So a firearm is legal as long as you are of a certain age,
right,
and you have the capacity to carry it.
Right.
And a private individual doesn't follow these. Like the Constitution gives you privileges.
Right.
You already have rights.
Okay.
You want a privilege or a benefit? You want a privilege or you want a right?
Right.
When you're a United States citizen, you now have to ask permission to get in a vehicle and move that vehicle. You have to ask permission to get a license to operate, to get married, or a license to do professional things.
Right.
As a private individual, you just do it.
Wow.
So you asking permissions.
Right.
That's what you're in that construct. You're in their club, and in their club, there's rules. You got to follow the rules in their club.
You know, I had always said that. You know, I don't want to get caught with no gun, and you know, anytime soon. Anything,
never get caught with a gun.
A firearm. I always said that my argument to the court, if I was to ever take this to trial, my argument to the court was
never argue. Forget. I'm sorry.
You know what I mean, though.
I know what you mean, but you gotta be careful with these words.
Right.
Gotta be very careful.
Damn, I would say to the judge, or I would tell my lawyer to say to the judge that
shouldn't have a lawyer either.
You shouldn't have a lawyer?
Hell no.
Why?
Never. Attorney.
Tell me.
The corpus juris secundum. Look up attorney. The attorney's first. The first. What is his word? He's aligned with the court. Like his responsibility is to the court,
right?
And responsibility to the bar association, right. And then you,
right? So it's two motherfuckers he's responsible before me.
Right.
Wow.
And he doesn't have your best interest at heart.
Right.
You're supposed to be able to defend yourself.
Right.
You know, listen, we can go in, but now firearm, and I was trying to find my pistol permit. On the pistol permit, it says firearm. You know, you're able to carry, it's a pistol permit. Right. So the manufacturer calls it a pistol or they call it a firearm. They don't call it a gun. So that's why New York can get away with what they're doing, because you're not allowed to carry a gun in New York.
Right.
But let me get caught with my firearm. Like, you got to be careful with the word, how they word it in their paperwork.
Right. So inside the gun law, that word firearm is not within those provisions of it.
Look it up. No, you will never see gun in there. You only see handgun in the newspaper, or you will see it in the police reports. Right. But also, you're supposed to rebut. If you get into, let's say you got pulled over in your car, they searched it, and you got a gun charge, whatever. That police report, you're supposed to take that police report and rebut it. You're supposed to deny everything on that report, because now they got to prove it. But what we never do is when we get a charge or we get caught up, whatever, we never rebut those presumptions. Right. So the presumption stands. An unrebutted affidavit stands as truth. So when a police report is an affidavit, they're stating that you did this, you did this, you did this, and you never rebutted that. So it stands as truth, which is why y'all getting not y'all, but why people are getting caught up. Right. It's these little things that we need to be conversating about to clear to get us out of this mess.
Right.
And a lot of our people in jail because they taking these pleas.
Right.
Don't plead.
I guess they want to plead it out, and I guess
because they're listening to these attorneys.
Right.
Where can they get this information from? But Brownsville LLC. I got a website, budbrownsville.com.
Well, let the people know, my brother.
You hit my website, budbrownsville.com. There's a lot of information on the website. I got YouTube videos, and I'll be here at the radio station a lot more often speaking about this. But brother, this is what we need to know. We need to understand how to flex our rights and understand or flex our unalienable rights.
Right.
We have things that we are supposed to do, and they're telling us that we can't do. Bull. We can. Right. We can. But as long as you call yourself a U.S. citizen, U.S. citizens have to go by the law, by their rules, or their statutes, codes, and ordinances and rules.
Right.
A private citizen has the Constitution that says stay away. It makes the public officials back off, because as long as you don't infringe on my rights, it's just a conversation. So as long as you don't injure anybody, kill nobody, or fraud anybody, we just having a conversation.
Right.
And we don't have to have a conversation, because like New York is a show ID state. Jersey's not. And New York is stop and frisk, where they can walk up to you and they can do certain things.
Right.
They can only pat the outside of your garment. They can't go in your pocket. They go in your pocket and pull something out. Okay, I'm in trouble. No, you're not. They need a warrant to search your person.
Right.
The warrant has to come with an affidavit.
Right.
Somebody, even a search warrant, it has to come with an affidavit. Right. There's people whose houses have been raided and they brought a search warrant.
Right.
Where's the affidavit? It's supposed to be accompanied with an affidavit. They don't know this. Right. And if you ask for it, shut up. Right. All this gets
That's
suppressed.
when the nightstick comes out. You're talking too much.
But don't argue. And this is some of the rules that we need to go by. Don't argue with the cops. Don't argue like you said you're going to go to court and fight. Don't fight. You need to stay in honor. A brother of mine that I follow, that I listen to a lot, Yusuf L. He talks about staying in honor at all costs. You don't want to argue with them. You want to agree with your adversary before you go to court. It's in Matthew something. Agree with your adversary before you go to court. Unless he hands you off to the bailiff hands you off to the judge, and then they put your ass in jail, whatever.
Right.
You agree, meaning y'all come to an agreement. Like, you ever been in housing court?
Right.
They make you do stipulation.
Right.
They make you come to an agreement.
Right.
Same thing in criminal court. You come to agreement. Now, there's some things I don't want to say in this air right now, where we won't do no time. You go in there and you don't represent yourself. You go in there as yourself.
Right.
They say that a person who has himself as a lawyer has a fool as a client, something like that. Because you don't go in there and represent yourself. Meaning, like Colin, the guy that did the train, the Ferguson. He killed all those people in the train.
That's right.
He went in there, he acted as his own attorney, and he's questioning himself. He looked crazy in court. You're not even supposed to be in their courts. These courts are not real. You send your paperwork in. See, court is the paperwork. Courtroom is where the paperwork is discussed. If you have a problem, let's say you are I'm all over the place because you have a limited amount of time. Parking tickets. I swear I will never, ever pay another parking ticket or citation of summons. Know how you do it? You got 3 days. You get a parking ticket today. You got 3 days, 72 hours to send that sucker back. Right. You put on there no contract, refusal for cause. You send it back, certified mail with return receipt. The ticket is going to go away. You got 3 days, a 3-day window to get rid of that ticket, guaranteed.
Right.
Guaranteed. Now, New York is one of those that fight you because they like to fight.
They like the money.
All you got to do is bring your receipt that you sent it back within the allocated time. Right. That ticket will get dismissed in court.
Right.
But it's a lot that I'm telling you. That's why I wanted to come and sit down, brother. I got a lot for you.
Because my brain is busted the fuck open. How many more minutes you got, brother? 7 more minutes.
You ain't seen nothing. Questions, go.
Where we going? Would Bud ever run for office?
Never.
Okay, why?
I'm private.
Okay.
I'm not registered to vote.
Okay.
When you register to vote, what you're doing is like when they make these gun laws or they make these rules and statutes and ordinances. When you vote, you are agreeing to let that politician make rules for you. So whatever they put out, you got to agree with it. So you can't say, oh no, I didn't agree to that. Yes, you did because you voted for, or you in that voting system.
That's right.
Come out from among her.
Right.
Got to come out from among her.
Wow.
Now the state. Now see, there's levels now. The federal, all of presidents are selected. They're not elected.
Right.
Electoral college and all that crap. The state governor, and mind you, let's go here real fast. Blow your way even more. The New York State, New Jersey, Pennsylvania are 3 different countries.
Right.
Let me say it again.
Right.
Those are 3 different countries.
That's right.
They have their own president.
Right.
They have their own constitution.
That's right.
They have their own army.
That's right.
And I said president. You caught that, right?
That's right.
Who's the president?
The governor.
Right, sir.
That's right.
You know that. So these are all countries. So now, excuse me, when you send a package internationally, I sent it to New York. I'm in Jersey. That's international. You think it has to go outside of the country? It did. It went from New York to.
Right. I understand it.
All right. Just a little bit.
But I'm gonna say this. I don't think that there's no other country. I mean, as foul as this, as the State of the Union is, the 50 states of the Union is.
Before you finish that, have you been anywhere?
No.
Then you can't make that statement.
I know.
I think America is a great place, and we have all these freedoms.
Like, nigga, has you been to South Dakota yet, nigga? Montana and shit. Have you been over to Oregon?
Have you been to Syria? Have you been to Iraq, Afghanistan? I mean, these are beautiful places, just like Africa. Right. They're only gonna show you the huts and the naked. Yeah,
right.
There's some beautiful places in Africa, just like Iran.
Right.
I seen a video on YouTube of Iran. Iran is beautiful.
Right.
But let them tell it.
The BBC and them gonna show you the fucked up parts of it.
Yeah, because he controls the media, controls the population of the perception.
That's right.
We need our own media. S.STREET media.
Right.
We need our own media.
You hear that?
You know what I'm saying? We control what we put out, and we need more of this.
That's right.
This is important. And also, no disrespect.
Right.
When we get on the media, we need to be spitting stuff like this to educate our people.
Right.
The hell with what Trump is doing. The
Right.
hell with all these other power. We need to talk about what we're doing, how we're navigating.
That's the truth.
What Brownsville?
And you have heard it. And this is Black Raspberry. We ain't gonna play no music. We gonna sign on out. Peace.
Black Power.